everybody. I'm Aaron, and this is the Comic Book Cover, episode 20. We're already at 20 episodes. Seems like we were at number 1 not long ago. So I'm going to do what's coming up on this one, because there's a bunch of cool stuff. Number 1, Steve Rogers is coming back as Captain America, and this guy's pretty happy about that. Unfortunately, Sam Wilson's still going to be parading around as Captain America rather than who he should be, Falcon. We'll get into that some other time. I'm just going to say that I find it really disappointing that Marvel thinks that Falcon's not a character that can stand on his own. It's kind of disgraceful, but whatever. Everybody has their own opinions on things, and that's just mine. I think Falcon's just fine as Falcon. Steve Rogers is Captain America. I don't really care for the SHIELD thing either, but as long as Steve Rogers is coming back, we can fix the other problems as it goes. Pretty easy going about this kind of stuff. Oh, and there's the rumor that everybody's been talking about. It's a rumor at this point. Jim Lee posted a picture that said Rebirth. It could be anything. Ivan Rice and Jeff Johns have done Rebirth stories, so it could be another Rebirth story. Who knows? It could be a relaunch, and that's what everybody thinks it is. And it's not a reboot. It's more of a relaunch where they would start back at number 1s, which, as a fan, I don't like because I kind of just rather the numbers keep going. But I get it as far as new readers go. It's easier for people to read something if they see a number 1 rather than 50 or 60. So whatever helps boost sales in comics, I think it's a good thing. Even if the fanboy in me is just kind of like, yeah, but I think it'd be cool if they did do that just because it'd help draw in more readers. This one's confirmed. Scott Snyder is going to be leaving Batman and going back to Detective Comics, which he was on pre-New 52. Wrote a great story called The Black Mirror. If you haven't read it, you need to. And, of course, all the DC movie stuff we saw just last week. Of course, if you were watching The Flash and Legends Tomorrow, there's a thing on the Legends Tomorrow show, which was a really cool show. And then there was a bit on Suicide Squad, which I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think Leto's going to be the best Joker yet, because it's kind of the cross between Nicholson and Ledger, which is going to be the perfect Joker. I love the scene where he's laying on the floor and the scene with Harley and him going into the chemicals. I'm really excited about this, just for the Joker thing alone. I can care. All the rest of it could be totally screwed up. As long as the Joker thing's right, this guy's happy. But I think it's going to be a good movie, not just the Joker thing. And then, of course, Superman v. Batman. I don't know. If you're not excited about this movie, there's just something wrong. Which I know there's a lot of hype against it, which I just tune that stuff out anymore. The internet's really bad, and I don't know what it is with Marvel fanboys, but they really love bashing anything DC related, which I don't think a whole lot of... If you haven't really read a whole lot of Superman, it's kind of hard to say, oh, Man of Steel is a bad movie. I could do a whole video on this Man of Steel thing. It was a great Superman movie. The other cool thing that's super awesome, Wonder Woman's finally getting her movie, which we'd heard, but we got to see clips from it, and I'm just stoked. I cannot wait till Wonder Woman gets her own movie. This is probably the thing I'm most excited about, just because she's part of the Trinity, the original superheroes, the original superheroine, and she's just now getting her own movie, and it's about time. I watched the Linda Carter show when I was a kid. First season still holds up. Not so much the others, but yeah, there you go. What's new? What's coming up? That's the stuff that's coming up, and this comic guy is excited about that. So, featured comic this week's going to be Old Man Logan, just picking up from the Mark Millar story and the Secret Wars mini that was Bendis and Sorrentino. But this one is Jeff Lemire and Andre Sorrentino, and the cool thing is they wrote one of the coolest Green Arrow runs in a long time. So, how could you not be excited about this? I mean, for one, I'm a big Wolverine fan, and I really need a Logan fix, and this is going to help out with that. We've got a little bit of Logan Extraordinary, but this is his solo title, so we finally get some more Wolverine, and we need more Wolverine, especially about this team. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with it. So this is the comic I suggest you buy this week. There's no other one, but there's plenty of other ones you should buy, but I had to pick one. Old Man Logan. On to Marvel, we have all new, all different Avengers number 4. You thought the origin of the all new, all different Avengers was surprising. You haven't seen anything yet. When passions flare between Captain America and Thor lead to Earth's mightiest kiss. Yeah, this is a bit of fluff in my opinion, but I'm really looking forward to where everything's building to the standoff story, so I'm sticking with this one. I'm sticking with Uncanny Avengers, and then we'll just see what happens. Sam Wilson, Captain America is another I'm hanging on to, just going into this story. But I gotta see me shaving some Marvel things down. I wanted to read, the number ones and just kind of see where they're going, and I think it's really good. I've liked most everything I've read. We have All New Inhumans number 3, Charles Soule, Angela Queen of Hell number 4, Carnage number 4, and when I was just saying they've done a lot of really good stuff, this is one of my favorites. Daredevil number 3, Ron Garney and Charles Soule, can't do no wrong. Absolutely can't do no wrong. He's got a sidekick, and oh yeah, he's battling the Cromor Ten Fingers. Forgot about that. He's got a black outfit too. Not big on that part of it, but whatever. It's been an excellent book. We're just 2 issues in. It's pretty nice to have a good Daredevil book to read again, especially after watching that show. It got me all pumped up about Daredevil. Went back and got some Frank Miller stuff, picked up Brubaker stuff. That would be my recommendations if you're reading old stuff. Excellent Daredevil. Deadpool and Cable split second, number 2 of 3, so we're already over halfway. This is a cool book. I got it just based on the fact I like Cable. And Deadpool, I like the original. And this is what makes this one cool, is that the Cable and Deadpool book was written by the original writer that co-created Deadpool and Cable with Rob Liefeld and the New Mutants. So check that one out. Extraordinary X-Men number 6. I'm a little bit behind. I haven't read 5 yet. But Jeff Lemire and Ramos, I love the story. I'm not big on Ramos' art. I'm still just, why does Iceman need a jacket? He's Iceman. It's not like he needs to be warm. Howling Commandos of S.H.I.E.L.D. number 4. Kanan number 10. Marvel's Captain America Civil War Prelude number 4. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur number 3, Spider-Woman number 3, and we have our True Believers. We have 3 coming out. Deadpool the Musical, Deadpool Variants, and Evil Deadpool. I don't know why, but I just get this feeling something big is coming up with Deadpool. It's almost like Marvel's really trying to draw our attention to Deadpool. Maybe they're just kind of shoehorning all this stuff in because something big's happening. You have any clue what Deadpool thing could be happening? On the subject, I'm actually excited about this movie. I like the old Deadpool before it got really ridiculous with the breaking the fourth wall thing. There was a point where he was a smart aleck, but it wasn't overboard, and it was great then, and then it just went off too far. But on that, the Spider-Man Deadpool comic is the most hilarious thing I've read in a while. Unbeatable Squirrel Girl number 4, and Venom Space Knight number 3. Volcano, more like Volca, yes. Venom gets an emergency message from a planet made up of volcanoes. The symbiote does not react well to heat. There are problems. 803 has a plan, and it doesn't involve self-destruction. Well, he also has a plan that does not involve that. But that's an entirely different plan. Heroism, snake-haired alien ladies presents. There you go. Venom's a cool character. Flash is the Venom now. It's no longer Eddie Brock, so that's kind of... I'm one of those that I like the original character staying as that character. But this looks like it's probably a pretty cool book, especially if you're a big Venom fan. So I decided to throw it in there. Independence Time. IDW Publishing is coming out with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 54. Eastman does one of the variant covers. Image Comics, Beauty number 6, Black Magic number 4, Awakening Part 4. This has been a pretty cool story. I really love what they do with the color. Nicholas Scott kind of keeps it black and white, and then color just comes in at big moments. Chew 54, Cry Havoc number 1, Deadly Class 18. Another comic I really am wanting to get into is East of West number 24, and Old Friends reappear. So if you've been reading, maybe you know what they're talking about. Fuse number 17, Island number 6, Jupiter's Legacy Volume 2 number 3. Skyfox was once a member of America's Greatest Super Team. Now he's kidnapped Vice President in a bid to stop the Vietnam War. This is probably one of the coolest things to come out since The Watchmen. I mean, it's kind of slowed down a little bit since it's gone to Circle, and Legacy, I can't wait till that picks up again. It's definitely one of the best Mark Millar books out there. And that's saying something, because there's Huck, there's Starlight, there's kick ass. Man, he's just really knocking them out. And he's going to be putting that one out with Icon here pretty soon, which is a Marvel thing. He hasn't done anything with Marvel for a little while. Monstrous number 3, Odyssey number 9, which is Matt Fraction's take on the Odyssey, but a science fiction version. Outcast number 15, Prophet Earth War number 1 of 6, Revival 36, Ringside number 3, everybody's favorite Saga number 33. Everybody loves Saga, right? I really like Brian K. Vaughan's Paper Girls, so I might actually read Saga eventually. Paper Girls is awesome. Savage Dragon 211. And my personal favorite could have easily been a featured comic, but I've done a few Jason Aaron things, maybe later on. Southern Bastards number 13. Can't wait to read this book. This is actually probably be the first one I read this week. Coach Boss's running Rebs face off against their sworn enemy from Wetumpka in the most important game in Crawl County history. It's been building to this particular game since the first issue, really. It's a big football town. That's, obviously the whole basis of it. This is going to be a pretty cool issue. A lot of stuff has happened. Can Coach Boss actually win the game this time? Because he's lost so much along the way. His own fault, too. On to DC Comics. Aquaman number 48. People have been way too harsh on this Cullen Bunn thing. I've really enjoyed this series. I can't wait till Dan Abnett comes on, and then later Jeff Johns, but Cullen Bunn's done a pretty cool thing with it. I don't know what's that. This is one of the few things I complain with DC fans on, is why would you complain about his writing? It's been a pretty cool book. You don't see Marvel fans over there complaining about him doing Uncanny X-Men or Magneto. I don't even hear DC fans complaining about Sinestro either, though, and that's been a cool one. From Vertigo, you have Art Ops number 4, Batman and Robin Eternal number 17. Man, has this been... I talk about this every week. I'm not going to spend much time on it. I will say this, if you're not reading, you should be, especially if you're a Dick Grayson fan. There's been a lot of cool Dick Grayson stuff going on. Really want him to get back to Nightwing, and not sure when that's going to happen, because it looks like Grayson's going to continue on with a new writing team and art. I'm not too big on that idea. I'm going to pick up the first issue and see where it goes, but they better really impress me as the first issue, because the team before has been so good. It's kind of hard to imagine wanting to move on to a different one. Trade paperback-wise, and this is really cool, because I'm an Ed Brubaker fan. Batman by Ed Brubaker, Volume 1. If you've not read any Brubaker's Batman, you should definitely check this out. Brubaker and Rucka did a lot of great stuff with Batman, not to mention Gotham City Central. Black Canary number 7, the comic I wish I'd picked up from number 1, Cyborg number 7. Deathstroke 14. Slade Wilson would move heaven and earth to get his daughter back, not even Lexicorp was standing in his way. But after barely surviving a tussle with the Suicide Squad, how can a battle-ravaged Deathstroke take on Lex Luthor's forces? And this has been a really cool story. I love diving back into Deathstroke's family thing with Jericho and Ravager. If you're not reading Deathstroke, what's wrong? Deathstroke, not Deadpool, Deathstroke. Deadpool came after Wade Wilson, Slade Wilson. Even Deadpool made a joke about how he's a Deathstroke wannabe. Grayson number 16, we were just talking about that. Armed with new information concerning Spiral's connection, Dick must seek Tiger's help to take Spiral down from within. When his days as a double agent may soon end in death. There's a little bit of a typo there. Sorry about that, but it seems it's leading to where there's like a civil war going on in Spiral. Dick's trying to straighten the situation out and take Spiral down. It's cool, but I'm anxious for Nightwing to come back. He-Man, the Eternity War number 14, Jack number 3 of 6. This is cool just because it's written by Eric Kripke, which if you're a Supernatural fan, you know who I'm talking about. Creator of Supernatural. Be worth checking out. It's on number 3 of 6. Not too late to jump in. Justice League of America, number 7. The devastating climax of the last issue has the League scrambling for revenge. Only problem is they'll need to get through millions of superpowered Kryptonians to get it. The only issue I have with this book is it's taken a little while to get each issue out, but the writer and the artist is the same person, so you kind of gotta give that. It'll probably be best to read it once it's all done. But that being said, still pretty early on in the Justice League story. So, and I think once the story's done, it's probably going to wrap up. So it'll probably be all contained, kind of like the Superman Unchained thing. Really, if you're just a League of America fan, want something to jump into, this is a great story to jump into. Superman's God showed up, and everybody's kind of jumped on the boat of that, but there's something off about the Ral thing. So that's all I can really say. It's been an awesome book. Last Gang in Town number 206, which is another Vertigo. Omega Man number 8. Scooby-Doo Team Up number 14. Suicide Squad, Most Wanted, Deadshot, and Katana number 106. Bucoletto's writing this one. It's of course 2 characters that are going to be in the Suicide Squad movie. Katana's not in the comic at this point. Not that she won't be later, she might be. I'm sure with the movie coming out, she probably will end up joining it. It's another character from the movie. I'm kind of excited to see their version. They're kind of going with the New 52 version, and they're keeping the fact that when she kills somebody with her sword, it takes their soul, because her husband's soul's in that. She's a pretty cool character, and of all their little one-shots they're doing lately, this is one, or not one-shots, but minis they're doing lately. This is one of the ones I would like to check out. I jumped on Swamp Thing instead, but I might have to pick this one up. The cover looks really cool, too. Superman number 48, Savage Dawn continues. Time is running out. Superman must make a fateful choice. Can he risk exposing himself to the one thing that can save him, Kryptonite? I mean, at this point, what's he got to lose? And it seems like Kryptonite might be the thing to help him. And, you know, a little piece of his planet, who knows? Savage Dawn's been an awesome story, especially that annual. If you've not read the Superman annual, you should read the Superman annual. One of the best comics DC's put out in a bit. Speaking of Superman and great Superman stuff, Superman, Lois and Clark number 4. The mysteries surrounding Lois and Clark are just starting to unfold. In this issue, find out what happened to the man who would have been the cyborg Superman. Learn what else is hidden in Superman's fortress, and discover why Lois gave Clark his new black uniform. There is a mystery there. Why is he running around in a black uniform? And what's up with the New 52's universe's version of Hank Henshaw? Because, you know, it got Clark a little worried because in where he's from, Hank Henshaw becomes a cyborg Superman, but the New 52 universe, it was Kara's dad, Zor-El, that became cyborg Superman because of Brainiac. So both are cool. I don't really have a favorite. I really like the different direction they went with the second one, but also the first one, the one I grew up with, was the Hank Henshaw version. So, plus, those 2 Supermans are going to meet pretty soon in number 50 when Superman gets his outfit back. Can't wait for that day. Teen Titans 16, and 2 more from Vertigo. Twilight Children number 4, and Vertigo Quarterly SFX number 4. And that wraps up all the comics coming out this week. This is the part where you hear we got comics from the vault.
And now, it's time for...
And from the vault, I bring you Mr. Miracle, number 15. And of course, I'm always talking about Jack Kirby. I know I did last week too, but this is particularly one of my favorite. This is probably my favorite Jack Kirby character, which is, well, next to Captain America. This is my favorite. Orion, a lot of those, but Mr. Miracle. And look how glossy that is. See that? There's a shine in that book. And this book is from 1973. So the fact this book has a shine on it still is pretty impressive. There you go. Mr. Miracle number 15. You can find that here, most likely the Money Tree. Go to the Money Tree. They've got a great selection over there. And plus, if you're a file subscriber here, you get 10% off. And of course, as I've said in every video, 5 or more titles in your file, you get 25% off. It's like a free comic. You cannot go wrong with that deal. It's like, if you're anything like me and a lot of other readers I know, there's always more books to read. Even if you got a file somewhere else, you can pick one up here. It can help you read that extra 3 or 4 more titles you've really been wanting to read. Why not? I'm not saying close one there, I'm just saying open one here. 25% off, how can you go wrong with that? Anyway, this is Aaron. End of this episode. Signing out. Read more comics.